Loan officer I'm talking to has a team that does around $9 million in monthly volume, and he wants to grow that, and he knows he needs to grow and get consistent referral business. Now, he wants to develop relationships with realtors. The only problem is he's not a huge fan of realtors. So we discussed that, how to find good realtors, how to go about the meetings with realtors, and then how to convert those meetings into business. We talk about that in this segment of the Loan Officer Hotline.
Hey, can you hear me now?
There we go, man. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Good. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't know either. Weird.
It's all good. Sorry. So we'll move things right into things. I got your intake form, brother, and I see you're doing good. You're doing well. What's your bottleneck issue is keeping realtors engaged? Is that what you wanted to go over today?
I just don't have many realtors that I work with. That's kind of been the problem with my entire career. And, and it's kind of a self-inflicted wound. I just never really appreciated or liked or respected how realtors roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, but you're wanting to get realtors? Is that what you're wanting to do?
I think it's I mean, it's a big problem with, that's where the majority of my business should come from is, a good realtor should be sending me purchase deals on a regular basis.
Yes, but that's not the only source of business. I mean, obviously, there's leads you can buy. There are other financial professionals like CPAs, financial advisors, insurance agents. There's lots of places to get business. I'm not saying you should go to any of those other ones, but is realtors where you're wanting to go after?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest. That's the weakest link in my business.
Okay, let's talk realtors. The first things first is that people do business with people they like, and which means that is if you don't like them, what are the chances that they're going to like you?
Probably
pretty low.
Pretty low.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice, like just your talks of with realtors. Sorry, my other camera that you can't see is not working. It just died or something like that. So I apologize. You can only see the above camera here. And so that's the first thing we have to we have to go is with the right mindset into it. Is if I'm going into like I can't stand realtors, I don't like realtors, you're not going to get realtors. And the ones that you're only going to get, you're going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're only going to get the ones you don't like. That's just the reality of it. And it's not to say that every realtor is peaches and cream and you're going to love every realtor, but the fact is that not every realtor is a bad realtor. Not every realtor is a pain in the butt. Not every realtor is disloyal.
Yep.
Right. There's going to be some of that, of course, but I could say the exact same thing about us loan officers, and we see shady loan officers all the time. Does that mean because these other loan officers are that way that you're that way? Of course not. Right.
Yep.
And so we have to go first with a different mindset and if I don't have that mindset is that, hey, I like realtors. Realtors could be a great benefit to my business. I could be a great benefit to their business. I like realtors. I might not like all of them, but I like the ones that we can have a mutually beneficial relationship. If you go in that mindset, you keep that mindset, you will start to find those relationships. You will cultivate them, right? Now, the question is one, getting those meetings, two, turning those meetings into business, right? Now, I saw that you are starting to get set up with some realtor meetings coming up near future. Is that correct? Was that on your list, your form?
You mean, am I going to pay you guys to set up realtor appointments?
Not me. I don't know who it was on there. I saw there on there. You said you had somebody that's going to set you up with 15 meetings per month.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Okay, cool. So you have that. Is that started or when's that starting?
Yeah, that has started. Yep.
Okay, cool. So you're getting about 15 per month. What's your approach? So like you have your first part is, how you get the meeting, right? And sounds like you're trying something out right now where you're getting meetings set up for you. All right. So part one is meeting is that, if you want to have more relationships with realtors, well, you have to meet with more realtors. It's just simple numbers, right? So there's many ways to get those meetings. Right now, you have a service that's going to be setting you up with meetings. What's your approach to those meetings?
Well, there's typically like an offer. So basically, I hired Todd Screama to be my coach. You may know who that is, or maybe you don't.
Mm-hmm. I know Todd.
But so he's got a new coaching program called Jolt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always got like an offer. Like his one offer that I told him to quit doing this was, they supposedly went out and found like 300 people that have multiple properties in my market, and the pitch was I was going to have a list of investors that may or may not want to work with us, and let's divide up the list and call 20 of them and see if we can't help each other grow our businesses. But what that turned into was his appointment setters were telling him, Casey's got a list of realtors that want to work with you, or a list of investors that want to work with you, which just wasn't true.
Right.
So now I told him, what I did now was I printed out my, all the loans that I've done with UWM, over the last, since December of 22. And so I've done about 150 loans with them. And there's a ton of data in there. And I've got about 90 of those were purchase files. And so I told them, I said, call all these buyer and listing agents and ask them, hey, do you remember the transaction we did on 1234 Main Street? Yep. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Well, the loan officer, Casey Murray, thought you guys had a pretty good transaction and just wanted to visit with you. Would you be willing to meet with them? So I think that's kind of what I asked them to change it to. And then, so they're trying to they've got appointment setters that are just trying to get me on the phone with realtors, to be honest with you.
That's totally fine. Doesn't matter where you're getting the meetings. How are you going to conduct the meetings? Why should they, what's the part that you're using and how are you approaching the meeting of why they should start to work with you? What are you doing on those meetings?
So I just tell them, hey, thanks for your time. I'd like to try and find a way for us to, do 5 to 10 more deals this year that we're not currently doing. And I'd like to get to know you and your business and maybe share some things about me and my business, see if we'd be a good fit. And and so without further ado, tell me about you and your business and how
so
I can help.
Your reason why they should potentially meet with you, I call it your USP, your unique selling proposition. So what I understand is that hey, I want to see if we can do an extra 5 to 10 deals per year that we're not currently doing. So these are new deals.
Correct.
All right. So how are you doing that? What's if they ask you, well, what do you do to make that happen?
Well, I would, I would suggest, do you have any ideas on how we can do that? I've got a mailer campaign that I do, and I can, certainly try and tweak that to people that might want to list their house. We could farm. We could, sign up for there's a platform called Sync. I know that there's some people using that. They're having, they're getting 2 buy sides a month out of it. We can try and do events together. You tell me. I try to learn more about the agent, how they're currently getting business, and then try to expand on that.
Do you have any success of doing any of those things that you can leverage in those meetings and say, hey, I farmed an area with the realtor, or I did the events with these realtors and we generated this much business, anything like that?
No, nothing, earth shattering, but I think I should obviously come up with something.
Yeah, because if you have a USP that you haven't actually delivered on, is that it's no different than when they were first setting up meetings for you, making promises that you couldn't deliver on. It's the same thing. And while you might get them initially interested is of doing something with the ideas, if it doesn't start producing results pretty darn quick, they're going to have a bad taste in their mouth and they're going to leave you. Is because people are going to expect you to deliver on those types of things. So for instance, when I met with realtors I would focus in on their pains. What are the things that they are having pains in their business that I could potentially solve? When I say potentially, I mean, it's not that I couldn't solve it. It's would I want to solve it? And if I want to solve a realtor's pain, how many realtors would you want to have a great relationship with, get business with? 10, 20, 30?
Yeah, 10.
Obviously a lot of it is that I can't do, or it'd be very expensive for me to do with 10, 15 realtors, all these things that you talked about, right? Because I only can spread myself so much. I only want to spend so much, so on and so forth. So I look for things that I could solve very easily. And here's the thing is people, ignore this stuff because it's been said so often. But the fact of the matter is, loan officers are horrible at certain things. Horrible. It still statistically is.
Hey, real quick, if you're a loan officer or a branch manager and your business is stuck, whether it's because you don't have enough business coming in or you're having trouble getting the business closed, I want to help you. I do free loan officer hot seats where I invite loan officers on one at a time and I help them fix the biggest issue in their business that's stopping them from to grow. Now, if this is something that interests you, in the description is an intake form. Fill that out, let me know a little bit about your business, and I'll personally review it. If it's something I think that I can help, then my team will reach out to you and we'll get you scheduled for one of our upcoming hot seats.
Is communication. And I'm going to get to a reason why I'm going to talk about this. Communication, right? That is a number one thing to this date. 70-80% of realtors, if you can draw out of them there's communication problems, then you can fix it. Is lead conversion. Is, it's deals die. Deals die. And that could be as a lead. It could be an actual, accepted offer, 3 days before closing dies. I want to pull out of them pains that they have. And then I'm going to then decide if I like the realtor, because remember, people do business with people they like. It goes both ways. I want to like the realtor too, is I'm going to solve their issue. What's the communication? What's your issue with communication? Well, I have to reach out to the loan officer to find out what's going on with my deal. Right? Well, I have a solution for that. I did status update calls twice a week. Not just text messages, not just emails. I would make a priority of making a phone call, not relying on an AI, not relying on a system to do it. They want to hear from me. Yes, I'd still have the other stuff going too, but I could use this as a unique selling proposition of why they should work with me. Deals that die. I know you work for a large broker. Is okay. Well, one of the reasons why that deals dies, loan officers take terrible applications, or they send the online application and just hope the borrower fills it out correctly. And then they're surprised when things don't come out the way that they are, right? Here's what I do differently. In addition to that, I have 306 different lenders that I have, you can use it, right? So you have these things, these are just the really basic ones, is that you can then leverage in a meeting. Not saying you have to do this, but you have to find pains that you can solve, that you have solved, and that you can stick to it. The nice thing with these three, for instance, or these things is that I could do with every realtor, right? I could do with every realtor. I can't do events with every realtor. Even if I could, I could prove I have business coming from it, and I can use it to get a realtor. If I have 10, 15 realtors, am I going to do 10 or 15 of these a month? It's I probably can't. So I might be able to do it as a one-off or a two-off, but then my business is very fragmented. And then I'm doing this for that realtor, this for that realtor. It gets really hard to create economies of scale where I can do things very well. Whereas this, let's just say, I save deals. For instance, the average realtor that I work with, I convert an extra 3 to 6 deals per year for them on deals that died from other lenders. How much do you make per closing? No, $7,000. So for instance, I can make you an extra $42,000 just by saving the stuff that you have already. And so I then use that for success because I know you have all of these types of solving. You're closing a lot of business. And so you have those types of things, and that's scalable. Is it sexy? Of course not. It's not sexy, but you don't need sexy to win big in this business.
And so basically that was communication. What's the next thing?
Yeah. So the two huge ones are communication and lead. When I say lead conversion, is deals that either die during the process or they never even get to pre-approval because of the lender for whatever reason. Those are the two things I focus on. Now, communication is a broad topic. So it could be that they don't know what's going on with their deals or they only get automated messages. I use the fact that I pick up the phone. It's huge. People appreciate that. Taking calls on the nights and weekends. Now, some loan officers, that's not their business. I'm not going to do that, or whatever. That's your prerogative, but those are also opportunities in those things. Communication is still the biggest one. It's still the biggest one, even with all the technology. Communication is still the biggest opportunity for loan officers. But then the other part, the sexy part is I'm going to help you close more deals simply because I have more options. Like for your standpoint with the company that you work for, you have more options. So I have two things. And so you're solving a pain by deals and missed opportunities. But then you're also fulfilling a desire to close more business too. I just like to focus on pains and use pain language is because people are far more likely to take action, immediate action to get rid of a pain than they are to achieve a desired result. So that's why I'll focus on. You ever have a deal that, that has died a few days before closing?
Yep.
And you're like, that sort of stuff.
Yep. I like it.
So if you got the meetings, that's great. You just want to make sure you have a unique selling proposition that you can fulfill on with every realtor that you want to.
And then what does AO stand for?
Accepted offer. So that just meant that if you had a deal that deals that die or leads is, at the lead process status or during when you already got an accepted offer. Those ones people are going to remember more the accepted offers. It's just because those are pains. They think they had a deal. But the biggest opportunity for most of them is that do you ever have leads that just can't get pre-approved? The lender says no. You don't even realize how much business you're missing as a result. So how many leads a month do you get? 10? How many turn into actual pre-approvals that you start working with? 3 or 4? Well, I can tell you statistically, I'll be able to convert one of those 5 to 6 or whatever the number is into an extra deal or two for you simply because of the options I have.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. You focus on that is huge. And then real quick here, because I had, we have the tech issue, so I do have to go on to the next really short here, is that you have the meeting, you wow them, and then is the follow-up. I'll just put FU as follow-up. You have to stay in touch with the realtors is because if you have a great meeting, but they don't remember you exist, they're going to forget about you and not refer you. Or they might remember you, but they remember you too late. And so for me, and what I recommend is creating a top of mind awareness strategy, omnipresence, where they're seeing you multiple times per week from multiple different angles. Meaning that it's not just once a week I send them an e-newsletter. Is that, multiple times per week, they're going to see me in some fashion, whether it's a combination of, email, text message, private message, interacting on social media. That's the easiest one. It's the most easiest way to stay in front of somebody without even make it seem like you're trying to push business on them, and you focus on being friendly with them, building a relationship with them.
Okay.
The business stuff, will occasionally come up, and then sometimes you have to reach out to them and follow up. Hey, I wanted to reach out to you, talk to you about our product we have here, or whatever it might be. But if you keep things relational mostly, and then the business, I would say secondary, but it's percentage wise, relational is more, because it goes back to the first rule. People do business with people they like. They do business with people that they remember and don't forget.
Yep.
So equally as important as the meeting, if not even more important, is your follow-up and staying in touch with them. You can't let them forget you.
Yeah, the fortune's in the follow-up.
It is 100%. It's in there. It's a cliche for a reason because it's a very true one.
And so I know I have an 11:30 meeting as well. What are we? I don't fully understand. What are exactly how really even why you're doing this meeting with me or what the next step is.
There's no next step. I'm just helping loan officers out, and I keep it as content, share it on social media. And so I'm not doing anything for other than just trying to be helpful to loan officers.
Yeah, no, this is great. I've gotten to know you a little bit over the years. I thought it'd be fun, or not fun, but good to just kind of see if some of your success could rub off on me a little bit.
That's the goal. I've had a lot, and I want to share, and that's the stage where I'm at now is helping loan officers and branches grow and scale.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to understand how I can utilize my VA more. I have a full-time VA, and I feel she's being underutilized, or I'm not getting out of her what I should be, because of really me. I
Yeah.
haven't figured out how to leverage her.
Yeah, that is a whole other one. We'll have to set up another time to talk.
Yep.
Because that's a much because I have to go on to the next call too. But that's a whole topic in itself. I'll have a lot of questions to ask you before I can even get recommendations. Because usually it's the mistakes people make with employee, whether it's a virtual assistant or stateside, is their initial process of hiring. I don't know if that's your case. Is setting things up for success, and then of course managing. But we'll have to set up another time for that.
Okay, sure. How do you want to go about that?
Reach out, shoot me a text message and we'll set up another time. You're welcome, brother. You have a good one. All right, see ya.